Hi, and welcome back to Self Care Black Girls, a podcast where we relax, sip tea, and chat about bettering ourselves as black girls. I'm BB, and I'll be helping guide you to make better choices in your daily lives. So, welcome back. Today's episode is going to be about protecting yourself, and others. And in this episode, I'm going to cover two different aspects of protecting yourself and others. There's I guess these both can be the literal aspect, but the first part is going to be the literal aspect of protecting yourself and others, specifically talking about COVID and all that's going on with it. And then I want to talk about more personal relationships with people. So without any further ado, let's get into this first half. So in this first part, like I mentioned, is going to be pertaining to COVID and everything that it's brought about. So we all know the first thing that we need to be doing is staying at home. If you have no work or emergency reason for not being home that will put you in a public environment with other people, please stay home. Now, a way to get around that would be to go on road trips, scenic places open out in the wild, not in an enclosed place like a movie theater or a grocery store or whatever you want to be doing. Don't do it. We have online shopping for a reason. You can order literally everything from online if you're in a bigger city. Now, if you're in a small town city, I'm sorry, but you're still gonna have to go out and grocery shop and whatnot. But if you have the resources available to you, use them. Stay at home as much as possible. Don't let too many outside people come in and whatnot. The next thing that you all need to be doing is please wear your mask. It's not that hard. It's really not. Just please wear your mask and wash your hands frequently. That is the main reason this thing has gone on as long as it has. People are refusing to wear their mask, and I don't even understand why. I really don't. I don't understand. But please wear your mask and wash your hands. I don't know why people seem to think they're invincible to this virus, but for some reason they do, and you're not. Nobody is. There may be a few, but the chances of it being you are so slim, it's not even funny. So please wear your mask, wash your hands, stay at home, do your part. That's all we want you all to do, is do your part. Don't run the risk of getting the disease and then continuing to go out and spreading it, and don't run the risk of already having it and spreading it around. Just follow the guidelines, and hopefully this thing will die down soon. And that's all I really wanted to say about the COVID aspect of all of this. For those of you not living in America, please don't. I don't want to say this because I know you're not gonna. Please don't follow America's take in all of this. This is just anyway. So I'm gonna move on to the more personal aspect of protecting yourself and others. So what I mean by the more personal aspect, it's just like watch who you hang around with. Keep an eye out for overly, I don't want to say questioning, but family members who are reaching out to you more now or have been recently than haven't. Like in the past, you probably didn't even know who this person was, this family member was, people like that. So the first thing is to cut off negative energy. And this could be a person, this could be a job, this could be transferring from one school to another. If what you do on a daily basis is bringing more negativity in your life than it is bringing positivity, then you need to get rid of it. And I know when it comes to a job, that can be hard because, especially now, finding a job is a little bit harder than it used to be. So at the same time, I want you to get rid, cut it off, get rid of it, but be smart about your timing. Don't get rid of it yet until you have, at least in the works, replacement for it. And with that being said, I also want you to not be the negative energy. Maybe you aren't realizing it, but if people tend to be unhappy when they're around you, or their mood shifts when they're around you for the negative, for the bad, you might need to take a step back and reevaluate yourself. Maybe something's been going on, and off the surface you haven't realized that it's affecting the people around you as much as you thought. But take a step back, evaluate yourself, and either remove yourself until you can fix it, or I don't know, apologize. I'm not sure what you need to do, but take a step back and reevaluate yourself and see if there's anything that you can fix about you if you find yourself, being the negative energy. I'm not really sure how I want to explain that, but hopefully you all are catching my drift. It's the same as cutting off the negative energy. If you feel yourself becoming the negative energy, evaluate yourself before you become cut off. There we go. I think that makes sense. Maybe that analogy. I don't know. The next thing is to be a trusting ear. Sometimes what a lot of people need is just somebody to sit there and listen. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to react. Just sit there and listen, and don't go out and tell people's business. If somebody is confiding in you, that's because they trust you. Don't break that trust, that confidentiality. What? Don't break that trust or that confidence that they have in you, because if you do, two things are going to happen, or maybe three. One is that person will never trust you again, which is just common sense. I think that goes without saying. Two, you're most likely going to lose a friend. If that person does, for whatever reasons, remain to be your friend, they won't trust you. So most likely they won't be your friend anymore. And third of all, they're going to talk. It's in our nature. It's in our human nature. They're going to go around and tell people, and that's going to cost you some more friendships, possibly job opportunities, depending on who they're talking to. So just be a trusting ear. Don't go out and tell other people what this person has confided into you. And then the last thing is just don't talk down on others. Let's use the trusting ear for an example. If somebody does come to you and they are expecting a reaction or a response of some sort from you, don't talk down to them. Don't make them feel bad. Don't make them feel worse than what they might already be feeling. You're supposed to be uplifting. Now, I understand that people want you to be realistic with them. People don't want you to lie to them, but there is a difference between talking down on people and being real with them. You need to think about the difference, because there is one, and figure out how you can convey your response or your message to them without it sounding bad. And then branching away from the trusting ear, just don't be rude to people. You never know what somebody's going through, and if you just approach them and if you approach them and start talking bad about them, you could be making a terrible day worse, and that's just not good for anybody. It's really not. It won't end well for you. It definitely won't end well for them. So just don't talk down on people. As many of us are taught when we're young, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. But just, try to keep things respectable, as respectable as possible. But yeah, I think that's all that I have for this episode. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's all that I have for this episode. Thank you all so much for listening. If you all have any other things that you want to add to protecting yourself, be sure to comment on the Instagram post that correlates with this episode. I'm sure it will be up a day or two after this episode airs, so you guys can contribute to this discussion. And also, if you aren't aware of the guidelines that you need to be following as far as COVID is concerned, it's a quick Google search. You can go to the CDC's website, and if you aren't sure about your specific town's ordinances that have been put in place, you can also just go a quick Google search and find your town or your county online and see if they have anything online posted about what you should be doing, whether you should be wearing masks, stuff like that. But yeah, thank you all so much for listening, and I will see you all next week. Bye. Thank you all so much for listening this week. If you have any questions, comments, stories, or tips, and you'd like to share them with me, email me at selfcarebgirl@gmail.com. If you'd like to help other people find this podcast, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review us on iTunes to help get the word out. If iTunes isn't your preferred method of listening, you can also find us on Spotify, YouTube, and many more streaming platforms. If you'd like to interact with other listeners or keep up with announcements and giveaways, you should follow me on Instagram at selfcareblackgirls. Join the Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/selfcareblackgirls or follow me on Twitter at selfcarebgirls. Don't forget, you all still have the option to donate by either visiting my Patreon link or my merch link in the bio of my Instagram and Twitter. Thank you all so much for listening, and I will see you all next week. Bye.